this is my the start of my slides, but also it's my legal disclaimer, because I'm not a lawyer, though I played one on the internet successfully. What this is when I talk about things in my talk where I'm doing something bad or horrible, and you're thinking, you're a horrible man. Remember the kittens, I'm adorable, okay? I will never try to steal from you, kill you, or ruin you financially unless you pay me first. There's always a contract. So whenever I get to those points, just remember the kittens and we'll be good. Thanks once again for having me here in Brasilia. This is my second time in Brazil. It's like I'm really enjoying it. And this is the talk. So basically what this whole talk is going to be about is how we suck at risk. It's like how we actually not are really approaching the actual things that we need to worry about, and instead we're going after the newest, shiniest O-days and stuff. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get an O-day. And I'm like, no, you need to fix your stuff. So this is a perfect example of this. This is from the Super Bowl. That's what Americans call football championships in America. You know, not more like hand-egg, but you know, we call it football. This was from last year. The Vice President of the United States was there. It was a big security event. Everybody was bragging about how secure their stuff was. They had 5,000 police officers for this one stadium. They had National Guard. They had Secret Service. They were like locked down tight, right? Well, these three teenagers found a hole in the chain link fence. And they were like, hey, let's crawl through the fence. And that's exactly what they did. And when they did, they found a ladder. One of them, he's the genius of the crew, he was like, you know what? Let's all three of us hold the ladder together and walk through and see if we get stopped. The other two were like, sure, sounds like a good idea. They did that, and they bypassed all the security. They were in the locker room areas, they were up in the stadiums, they were all through all access, walking by police officers. And if you don't believe me, it's awesome. They YouTubed the whole thing. They literally videotaped the whole thing as they broke into this Tier 1 national security event. So while our law enforcement and military and Secret Service was trying to stop, you know, all these high-level threats, they weren't prepared for three teenagers and a ladder. So we need to work on that. This is my slide, mostly just for context. I'm sure, I don't know what he said about me, but I'm sure that was a really great biography about what I do, so I'm going to go with that. Now, once I talk about risk management, I can't stress enough how important it is for us to understand as humans how we misdirect and we let other outside influences affect us when we're trying to manage risk. One of the biggest examples was the Ebola outbreak. Remember when Ebola hit about in 2015? Everybody's going, in America, we freaked out, right? You know, we were like duct taping windows, like, the Ebolas are going to get us, the Ebolas are going to get us. Everybody was all worried about that, right? Everybody was like, you know, bathing in Purell, anti-disinfectant, and, you know, trying to stay protected and safe and not coughing on anybody and wearing masks because they didn't want to get Ebola. 2 people died from Ebola in the U.S. in 2015, which was bad. It's like, you know, it's like either life is tragic. But that same year, 55,000 people died from the flu. The flu. You're all there trying to get your duct tape and your mask, and you didn't take a flu shot. You're all worried about Ebola, and you weren't like going and getting a flu shot to inoculate you to help protect you from the flu. That's a problem. That's what versus what really is going to go after us and what's coming at us are two different things. Here's a great summary of that. These are the leading causes of death in perspective. Right at the very big top right there. Heart and circulatory disorders. And trust me, I need to be worried about that. I'm old and I eat lots of bacon. So, you know, no regrets. But I got to worry about stuff like that. Okay? I've already had cancer, so, you know, I'm still a little worried about that as well. It's like, but look at the very top. I mean, seriously. Right there. The very top right there. Terrorism. Right below this war. That's what is going to kill you versus what we're really scared about and worried about and spending billions of dollars on. What's really going after you? It's like, so this is one of the things that you have to think about. It's like, as humans, it's like how we assess risk. And also, how do we train people to look at risk? Our employees. A perfect example is courtesy of the TSA. I'm not a big fan of the TSA, but that's okay because they hate me just as much as I hate them. So it's a great hate-hate relationship. And this is a TSA officer in the U.S. confiscating my USB drive. They stole it. I mean, confiscated. Stolen. So this is them with the evidence, and they were stupid enough to let me take a picture of it. So okay. So why did they take or steal my USB drive? Because it looked like a grenade. That was it. The only reason was because they were afraid of me 30,000 feet up in the air, going by the cockpit going, okay, I'm going to blow it. I'm going to blow it, everybody. This is a hijacking. That's what they were worried about. Really? No. The pattern said that if it looks like a weapon, it can't be on the plane. There were no clauses for actual critical thinking. They didn't let their agents actually think for themselves, or actually, well, sometimes it's a good thing with some of the people they hire. But other than that, they didn't let people actually assess the actual risk. So they said, that looks like a grenade, you can't have it. And I was like, well, you can't take it. I have to destroy it before you get it. The reason why is I have booby traps. Even in my bag right now, I have USB drives that if you plug them into your machine, it will destroy your system. That was one of them. And all I could think about was some idiot TSA agent was going to plug it into a federal machine on their network, and then I'm going to Gitmo because I broke down and tore down the TSA systems. It's like not my fault. So that was one of the other problems. They won't let 4 ounces of toothpaste come in, but during an audit of their systems, 90% of the bombs and guns that were mock-ups, but they were looked all real and authentic, went through. 90% of actual weapons, because they were so busy looking for these things and the 4 ounces of toothpaste that they didn't actually look for the actual threats. That's a problem. We do it on online too. We do it in information security. Everybody, like I said, everybody's worried about 0 days. You know, well, and until the NSA screwed up and released a whole bunch of 0 days that people can use very easily, you didn't have to worry too much about them. It's like now, still not as much because a lot of those 0 days are getting patched. But forget about that. What about SQL injection? SQL injection is the highest rate of, or reason that you're getting compromised. Still. SQL Slammer is still out on the internet. That was from 2002. Well, actually, the attack was from 2003. The patch and the vulnerability announcement was from 2002. It is 2018. Why is someone running an old SQL server that is unpatched and is allowing SQL Slammer to hit out on the internet? But it's happening because we're not protecting against those things. And when you think about who comes after you, who are you defending yourself against? Are you really worried about nation states coming after you? Are you really worried that like some government agency is coming to come after you? Well, not unless you're like Huawei or maybe Iranian centrifuge. You may have to worry about something like that. Or the Pope. Literally. The NSA spied on the Pope. Not the old guy with the scary one with the red shoes, but I mean like this Pope, the current Pope. This guy dresses up as a regular priest and feeds the homeless in Vatican City at night. He's like the Batman of popes. He's amazing. But still, they freaking follow him and they were spying on him. That's ridiculous. But if you're not one of these kind of things, you don't really have to worry about nation states coming after you. What about anonymous? Hacktivists. Who here is part of anonymous? Raise your hand. Okay, just a second. Good job. Y'all are on point. It's like, well, I like this one note right here. Could the hacker group Anonymous do real damage to Donald Trump's campaign as it is threatened? Well, we all know the answer was no. I'm sorry. That always chokes me up when I get to that part. So what else? How about criminals? How about people that want to rob you? People who don't care what you make, or what you're selling, or where you're at, or what you do, but they just want to get money. Yes, those are the people you have to protect against. Most likely, 99.9% of the time, someone just wants to make a buck off you. That's who you have to worry about. Not political statements, not government agencies, people who want to get money. Target is the gift that keeps on giving, for bad guys and for people who give presentations on security. The key thing about this, which is also another thread in this talk, is Target was not breached by an outside force. Their company, their HVAC company that they have a partnership, was attacked. They were sent an email. And literally, the guy who owns the HVAC company had the audacity to say, we were a victim of APT. If APT stands for adequate phishing technique, maybe, okay? It wasn't advanced, it wasn't persistent, and it wasn't very threatening except for it was successful, okay? I'm tired of companies saying that they're always by APT when they're getting a phish email and someone clicks a link. That's not advanced, that's adequate, because that's all they needed. So it was that trust relationship that they were able to break into. And the reason why is because, let's face it, the majority of workers blindly open email attachments. You got Bob in accounting with nothing better to do than like, oh, there's a legit clip. Company computer, don't mind, Bob in accounting, got to watch out for it, right? So what I want to do is I want to impress upon you why this stuff is serious. Why low-tech attacks, while just getting research and stuff, is important to protect your company that you may not realize, because everybody worries about all these advanced defenses. I want to show you something simple, but also I want you to understand the importance of it. And how do I do that? Because everybody has this mentality that it never happens to me. It's never going to happen to me. No other Target, was like, 3 weeks before they were breached, never going to happen to me. So I want to help you understand that it can happen to you. And I do that by targeting somebody in the room. It's like, not you personally, because that's like really, well, actually, it could be personally, actually, a little bit. But it's like, but a company that's local. And trust me, I gave this talk yesterday with an employee in the room. It was awesome. So I Googled, biggest bank in Brazil. Why would I rob a bank in Brazil? Where the money's at. That's why you rob banks. So I decided to do a Google. And I came across Banco de Brazil. Awesome. The only reason, this was totally random. I promise, this was totally random. The only reason why I chose them was it says right there, headquartered in Brasilia. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to Brasilia. What a coincidence. Let's keep going. So we go. And I Google Banco de Brazil. And I love the Googles, because not only are they stealing all your information and displaying it for advertisers, they display all the corporation's information, for free as well. There's their stock price, their CEO, their headquarters, their total assets, subsidiaries, and all their social media profiles right there before I even get to any other links to click. That was nice and helpful. But I want to do a little bit more searching. I want to do a little bit, I got to do some research, got to do recon. Remember now, please understand, the whole time that it took for me to start Googling biggest bank in Brazil to the time that I finished this attack was less than an hour. And I was playing World of Warcraft at the same time, okay? I was multitasking. I was doing a raid through Older because I'm trying to get the Imran's head. Don't judge me. So let's go to the website. A great place to do recon, right? One of the best places for you to do recon is none of the dark web, okay? It's usually the corporate websites, okay? They give you a lot of information. I mean, look how wonderful this site looks, okay? I mean, she looks very happy. That's the face of someone who just got a mortgage, okay? I'm very happy for her. That's a very nice picture to use. It's a very professional looking website. My only problem with this website right off the bat, before I can get into any things that I see, is I notice things. Like the fact that they're using HTTP on their main page. Now you can log in, when you click the login button, I'm sure, I hope, I pray, that it's going to HTTPS. But the problem with it is when you have that front page there, HTTP, yes, it's not really a security issue for you, but now people can phish it and scrape your site and then also host it up without HTTPS, and therefore no one understands that your site's been compromised. It's like, or they're going to an illegitimate site. That's the problem. Now, once again, we saw how normal people see their website, right? I have never, ever in my life been accused of being normal, okay? So that's not how I see their websites, and it's also not how attackers see their websites. Attackers see the websites with extensions. Firefox is awesome, got a lot of great add-ons, and this is one of the great add-ons right here. Right off the bat, I know that I'm looking at a website on IP address 170.66.11.10. Also, I noticed their DNS server is dns1bb.com.br. Guess what that means? They're hosting all their web and internal infrastructure. Jackpot. So it's like I don't just have one website with one IP address to go after. I now have more IP addresses and more targets. I don't have to find all the vulnerabilities to get in. Just need one. Okay? So I've got all these IP addresses. I've also got how many domains? 47 domains hosted on there. That's very helpful. And also we look at some of the websites. bb.b.br, bancodebrasil.com.br, what's a BEP? I don't know how that translates. It's still ob.com.br, I think they're just making up words and creating domain names, but that's just me. But they've got all these domains here. Now, why is this important? Because bb.com.br may be very well thought out. It's an e-commerce site, it's a financial site, so the programmers did a top job on it. So that's great. I may not find any vulnerabilities on there, but they're also hosting these websites. And maybe the programmer on medellpost.com.br had a bad day. Wasn't the best programmer that they had on task. They had all the good programmers working on bb.com.br, and that guy got stuck. Yeah, Bob, you got to go on that one. You're not, just stay away from us. It's like, and so he did it. But if I compromise that website, I can then get into the host, to the server. And if I own the server, I own all the websites, even the shiny, really well-built ones. And that's why that's an issue. Also, I just have to ask, is Luis Felipe de Oliveira here today? Okay, good. It's like you don't put actual employees' names in your who is information. And you don't put the employee's email address in your who is information. Not only does that give me an extra target to go after, and also a pretext to make me sound official. I was just talking to Luis Felipe de Oliveira just the other day, and he told me to contact you about some who is information that we need to update. Please click this link so we can update that information for you, or you're going to lose your domain. Just that easy. It's like always use generic names, always use generic emails that go back to information security or networking. Do not use actual real people. So here's all they got 4 DNS servers. They've got over 254 IP addresses to go after. A lot of good information there. But also on their front page is they showed me, hey, we're on social media. Reach out and contact us. Interact with us. And I'm like, yes, I will. So that's what I did. I started with LinkedIn. It's like, I love LinkedIn. Their LinkedIn page is amazing. It's really nice. They've got 43,092 target employees on LinkedIn. That's awesome. That's a lot to work with right there. So, and trust me, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please do. I accept all LinkedIn connections. So, it's like if you can catch that out a little bit later. Here's their Instagram, because all the cool hip banks are on Instagram, right? It's like, and I can't even make fun of them too much because they've got 76,000 followers on Instagram. They are posting some really cool pictures. That's all I know, okay? And they're only following 63 people. So, how am I going to go after them? Well, I'm not. Because they're very discerning about who they follow. They're just not following anybody. But they are following this person. Soraya Lacerda, she is following 1,197 people. And she's only got 662 followers. Okay? Not judging her, I'm just saying she's following a lot of people. And not everybody's following her back. But if I followed her with an account that I created that was fake, that resembled stuff that she was interested in, she would most likely follow me, right? And then I would send a direct message to her with a compromised link that would compromise her machine, which would then get her account to contact the Bank of Brazil's Instagram account with the link, something that they needed to see. And trust me, I know this works because I did this to a state treasurer in the United States, and he wasn't amused, but it worked. Also, Twitter. Oh no, this is YouTube. Here's YouTube. It's like one of the things I like about their websites and their things. See how it's all uniform. It's like they're using the same picture, the same icon, which is really nice. It's like nothing to do with security. I just thought it was a nice touch there. I'm not trying to be totally mean to them. Here's their Twitter, and if you'll notice, they're following 15,000 people. That's a lot of people to be following on Twitter. It's like I don't know if they're actually looking at them. But once again, I can't make fun because they've got 188,000 followers, which, you know, I'm not close to those numbers. So good for them. But once again, just like our Instagram person, there's a Twitter person. And this guy looks sort of angsty, like he's like, you know, would cut me if I made more fun of him, so I'm not going to. But I just will note that he's got 633 following people, and he's only got 143 followers. So he needs to step up his game and do a little bit better, or, you know, just, I don't know why they're following him. The problem is, corporations don't have Twitter accounts. They don't have Instagram accounts. They have but they're manned by people. People run those accounts. And if you've been listening on Twitter lately about the whole T-Mobile thing, you realize the people you hire to represent your company can really screw you over. So you have to be careful about that. So here's your Facebook. Now here's where we get interesting, because I love Facebook. Facebook's awesome. I mean, not just because of all the privacy stuff that I like doing. No, it's because of the whole like and share thing. When I'm trying to target a company, one of the first things I do, I go after their Facebook account. Because they post something and then people like it. Okay, but does liking really count? Everybody's got that one friend. Everybody's got that friend who's got the baby, right? Always posting those pictures. I mean, look at my baby climbing up the stairs. Oh, look at the baby playing with the kitten. Look at the baby eating porridge. And if you don't like every single one of those pictures, you're in some trouble the next time you talk to them. Because they're like, why don't you like the picture of my baby eating porridge? That was one of the cutest pictures of a baby eating porridge I've ever seen, even though I didn't take it myself. That is my baby. Why did you not like it? What are you going to do? So you got to like it. But do you share it? Well, you'll get unfriended. You got to be careful. It's like, but do you share the picture? Because when you share the picture, you're saying, hey, this is the most beautiful baby I've ever seen eating porridge my whole entire life, and I'm going to share it with the world so everybody can see this baby eating porridge, and I'm putting my name right next to it. That's what it means when you share. Yes?
It's not my baby, it's yours.
But it's hypothetical, because it's like, I'm trying to make a point with the Facebook thing. It's like, but I do agree with you. But it's like, and I don't like everybody's pictures, but then again, I don't have that many friends. So, when you share it from a company standpoint, who usually shares those posts? Employees, because they're good employees. They want to show that they're part of the team, so they're sharing those on social media so their bosses see how well they are. So that's what I'm going after. I'm going after employees that share employers' posts. Like Felipe Deltro. Hi, Felipe Deltro. Is he here today? Okay, good. Because he's a different. One of the things that you have to stop doing, people, is stop putting children in your profile pictures and your cover photos. Stop doing that, because those are public for everyone. And your relatives and your friends make comments on those pictures that are also public. So I can get names of the children, where they're at. I've gotten elementary school places where they were being picked up. All this information done from insecure posts because it was a public picture. because you made it a public profile photo. So don't do that. But he shared this article. Let's look a little bit more for him. He works at Banco do Brazil. He's got a whole bunch of other information out there. I don't care. All I'm interested in is who his friends are. And these are his friends. And most importantly, these are, see how Facebook is so nice when it comes to collecting data. All friends, work, college, current city, hometown, and following friends. So which category did I go after? Work. That's what I'm interested in. And this guy came across my radar. Justelitos, yeah, that guy. And the main reason why he came across is because this guy was like, no, I'm not just going to put one child in my cover photo. I'm putting them all. You know, it's like I'm putting them all in there. So he's and then he got just a little extra to make sure that he put his daughter in the profile photo. So it's like he just got it like the triumvirate of bad. Do I know anything else about him? Nope. Do I care? No. What did I need from that attack on Facebook? I needed their names. So now that I've got two names of two employees that are connected and communicate to each other, that know each other, I've got all that I need to create an attack. Except for their email address. And how hard is it to get an email address? Well, you basically go to email-format.com, you type in bb.com.br, and it tells you exactly how to do their email addresses. So you know their names, so you'll know exactly how they do their email addresses. And if that's not enough, guess what? They'll show you some of the email addresses as examples that's been used on the web that they've caught. So what was that? More targets for me to go after. Now, I have to add an extra kitten in this one, okay? Because I have to let you know, how many people here would answer an email that said they won $1 million? Exactly. When it's something too good to be true, we all know it's probably too good to be true. But the problem is, what happens when you get messages that something bad's happened? Or you've heard the news and something horrible's happened in the news and someone sends you some information about that. I'm totally ignoring that, but thank you. It's like someone gives you that information. It's like, what do you do with it? You want to find out. Because when something bad happens, we need information. We need to find out what's going on. After the Boston bombing, which was a horrible tragedy in the U.S., 2 days after the Boston bombing, I got an email that literally said, news about Boston bombing. And then the subject and the body of the message was literally an IP address / Boston.html. And I was like, I'm ashamed of you, dude. You're not even trying. It's like, that's just embarrassing. But how if you had a daughter running the marathon? What if your family lives in Boston? What would you do? What are you going to do? You're going to click the link to find out what's going on. So that's why bad guys like me, that I pretend to be the kittens, will find something bad to use to get their emotions going and make them click a link. So what do? Go trouble in Brazil. That's all. That's all I'm looking for. Trouble or tragedy or horrible or terrible. I usually go through all those. But trouble in Brazil, and I find that guy right there in the middle, and I'm like, that's a dashing man. Let me see more about him. Well, it turns out he's facing some problems right now. Yeah, and he still hasn't turned himself in as of today, so he's still in some more trouble. But I see this guy going on, Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. I think I'll just make these names to make me look even worse. He denounced violence protesters during his presidential campaign tour. So he's talking about, like, there's violence going on, people getting shot at, horrible things going on. How can I use that to my advantage? Let's see. So I'm assuming the identity of Felipe Daltro. That's who I'm taking the identity of. And I'm sending this to Joselito, the other guy. And I go, the subject line, and please note that it's in red. I did not send this email. That would have been illegal. I have not committed any, if there's any law enforcement, I have not committed a crime at all during this presentation. Okay? Good. Okay. So, the subject goes, this looks like this could be dangerous. And I put 3 exclamation points, because that's very important. Because 1 exclamation point means you're like, it's important. 2 exclamation points means you're shouting and that's just rude. But 3 exclamation points, serious business. Okay? That means you gotta pay attention. So I go, hello, Juscelito. I just received this most disturbing message. They sent me to this link, badlink.com, describing how the rally for the guy is going to be held in a few days at the National Library just across the avenue from our headquarters. Since this page is describing violence and talking about corrupt banks being in the pocket of Jair Bolsonaro, our guy, it seems they may target our building, 3 exclamation points. I'm extremely worried and not sure who I need to report this to so it gets taken seriously. Take care, Felipe Daltro. Sent from a mobile device, and we're going to imagine this email is in Portuguese. So another key thing about this email is not does it just make you want to click the link. Did I tell him to click the link anywhere in that email? Did I tell him to click it? Did I tell him he had to look at it? No. Which makes him want to click it more. And I said send from a mobile device because I don't know how he says hello. I don't know how he says goodbye. So when you see send from a mobile device, you make allowances. And that's the key thing. So there is an uptick in social media base. People and your employees need to know this is how they're being attacked. It's no longer just through the network, it's through social media. So here's where we give up, right? You know those talks where the guy comes in and he says, hey, I found this vulnerability and this is how I broke the system and I just totally destroyed it. And it's like, and then he goes, peace, out, I'm out, drops the mic and walks off the stage. And I'm always asking, well, how do you fix it? And they're like, I don't know. I just know how to break it. It's like someone else needs to fix that. Those talks suck. It's like if you're not helping to show a solution and you're just telling me how something's broken, you're not really helping anybody. You need to have the solution. You need to help defense. I've always said, I don't want to get on a soapbox because I get on those very easily and I know I'm already out of time, but it's like red teams are not there to make themselves look good and to break systems. Red teams are there to help the blue teams. The only reason why red teams exist is to help defenses get better, to help the people in blue teams get better. That's the only reason why they exist. So if your blue team doesn't have a lot of red team cred or doesn't have a lot of technology savvy and they're working on the systems, well, show them to go to OSINT framework.com and learn how to do some of these social searches without having the expertise on how to do all the right switches. This helps you with that. Also, make sure your company has an alert up on Pastebin. So when your company gets searched, like I searched Banco do Brasil, your customer's credit card information doesn't come up because that would be bad. It's like, and I mean, when I say that, I mean literally their credit card expiration date, CVV number, and their name. That's not good for anybody. So on Pastebin, it is free to set an alert for your company's name. So whenever someone adds a Pastebin with your keywords put in there, you'll get an email. And then you can submit to Pastebin a takedown notice, and they'll take it down. But this stuff has still been up there, and some of these I saw were from like 2 years ago. This is from 2017, from September. Now, another thing that you need to start looking at is how your computer devices and your network devices are talking out on the internet. I decided to do Showdown.io. This is Brasilia. Very nice. Notice all those red dots? And yes, if you're thinking that looks bad, just like in a zombie movie or an alien invasion movie, those are never good, okay? That many red dots will not be good for you. So let's look a little bit closer at one of these red dots. 189.112.118.113 seems like a good one because they've got port 22, 53, 80, 123 open. Let's take a look at some of those ports. Well, of course, 22, they got SSH open. It's like, which is, sometimes you need communication. But I was wondering, why was port 80 open? It's like, this is like a networking device. Why did they have port 80 out on the internet? And when I found out what it was, I was just sad. pfSense is an open source firewall system. Just a quick heads up for people who aren't too familiar with information security and defensive products. Your firewall should never talk to the internet through an admin console on a web page. Okay? Especially one that's not even HTTPS. I'm not going to, and I love it. The most truest thing that you see on this page is the upper left-hand corner where it says not secure. You got that right. okay? Truer words have never been spoken. It's like, so I don't know if the username, the password, the default admin, because I would have just cried if I would have found out, but who knows? And you're saying, well, Jayson, why do I have to worry about those kind of things? Because there's people like this guy constantly scanning your networks and scanning your devices through Shodan and other sources, looking for things like that, looking for open webcams, looking for open services, trying to find them and see what they're going on. This guy on a Friday night decided to scan 1.17 million hosts for the Eternal Blue exploit to see if they were vulnerable to that exploit. He found 33,000 and more open. Because, that's what we all do on Friday nights, right? It's like, so, don't judge him. He was successful. So if your company team doesn't have a lot of staff, or you don't have a lot of people that can do these things, well, then get a blue team in a box. Get a third-party software. Get third-party technology to help augment your security. And if all else fails, just Google. Create Google alerts for when your name pops up, your company name pops up. It's like, make sure you're seeing that and you're aware of what's going on. Now, another thing we talk about is segmentation. Make sure, I don't know if everybody here does a lot of information security, so we don't get into it too much, but it's basically just segment your network. Stop leaving flat open networks. I literally gave up an engagement once because the first day that I came in, within the first hour, I realized that their whole network was 10.0.0.0. Seriously. That means their CEO's computer was on the same IP address scheme as their mail server, as their internet server. There was no DMZ. There was nothing. It was all open. It was all a 10 network. It was all flat. Their internet wireless guest access point with the name of their company, unencrypted, it said the name of the company, guest, unencrypted, wireless access point, guess where it was? Yes, on the same IP address network. I literally said, I can't take your money. You need to hire someone that can do networking. You don't need me yet. This is like, you're asking me to try to break into your house and you don't have walls. I can't do this. Also, patch your systems. WannaCry was one of the best things that ever happened to security because people started realizing, hey, maybe we should apply some patches. Up until this, MSO 867 was the golden ticket. And then MSO 1014 came out and everybody thought, yay, MSO 1014, the new golden ticket. Not really, because WannaCry ruined it for everybody. It's like, everybody realized, oh, we need a patch, MS 1014. I know of some people have told me there's been 3 confirmed cases where they were patched for 1014 and they weren't patched for MSO 867. Because MSO 867 didn't make the news like 1014. So you got to patch. And patching is important. This is a good security awareness thing. This is the first day of WannaCry. Everybody's like, no, that's not too bad. America's like, whoo, we dodged the bullet. Second day, oh, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. So you got to patch your systems. You got to make sure you own all the names, not just the ones of your company. So you need to make sure you're doing that. Any company name that you have, make sure you own the misspellings. And when all these have a 0 and a 1. The 1 is up top, the 0 is at the bottom. But it still looks like the regular site. And the most scariest thing about this slide is that this is a legitimate company and these are still available. They're not anymore, so I hope the company bought them, but I doubt it very seriously. So when you're defending against possible online computer attacks, you never have Wi-Fi on when using Wi-Fi on your mobile device, make sure you're using a VPN. Never participate in what Game of Thrones character are you on social media. It's like one guy actually read the top 25 things about you, and literally they were the top 25 password reset questions for your email and banking services. How many people filled that out because they wanted to know if they were the cat from, Lost in Space or something? I don't know. So you got to worry about that. Also, updating patches include your routers, your TVs, your light bulbs, and your fridges, and all your other smart devices. No one wants to get owned by their toaster, okay? That's just embarrassing. So it's like, make sure you patch your smart devices. Physical attacks, make sure you lock your system. Never plug in an unknown USB drive, because trust me, I've got some USB drives I can show you why that's a bad thing. Question any unknown person in your work area, because it might be me, and report before you confront them. Quickly pick up items off the printer, don't let them stay there. And corporate security, I'm going to bypass. And I'm going to go create teachable moments for employees before a real attacker does. And what I mean by that is make it real for them. So one of the things I help make real for the audience at one talk is I used to do Wi-Fi Pineapple and show all the results. I actually went to RSA conference and I did one there, 7 minutes, 42 security professionals had connected to my access point. Which is, that's sort of bad. It's like, but not this bad. Let's see here for a second. Yes, I'm running it now. I've been running it since the very beginning of this talk. So for 1 hour, I got 9 people connected to it right now. iPhone XL CY Jones, iPhone 7 to fix, couple Android devices, Samsung Galaxy S7, MacBook de Pedro. Someone's laptop is connected to this. That's not good. So that's what I've been doing for the last hour and 4 minutes. I hope someone's already disconnected. I'm going to just shut down the machine really quick. Luckily, no activity. This was not connected to the internet. There was no data going through my system. But if I was a bad guy, I could have compromised your system. I could have directed to where I wanted you to go when you think you're going somewhere else. So now you understand what it means to be attacked. It's like it's a serious issue, and it's not just something that happens to just someone else. It happens to anybody, including people at a conference, because some weird guy decided to show them something. There you go. And now we go back to this. So the last thing is, remember your employees are an asset, not a liability. Teach your employees to be cautious. Teach them to be suspicious of these activities. Show them why this stuff matters. Use these examples that I've given you as a way to educate your employees on why security matters. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. Let me read it out so it translates. Discussions and questions, or several minutes of uncomfortable silence. It's your choice. No, seriously, I'm done. Thank you.